Netflix Football. This is your host Neil as usual, and we have got a classic six-pointer within us today. Manchester City versus Liverpool. The most recent, the heavyweights of Premier League football. Liverpool, defending champions, Man City, right now runaway leaders of the Premier League. And today, being a Man United supporter, it's you'll never walk alone all the night long. So with me tonight, I have got two very special guests. Let's have them on screen right now. Chalo. Nidhi, welcome back, and debuting on the channel
Hello.
is Prashant. So,
Hey, hi
starting off with
everyone.
Nidhi, how and as you were saying, as Prashant was actually saying, how happy were you when Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored that 95th minute equalizer, man?
Me personally, not really. It's okay. Look, at this point, this season is going to be very topsy-turvy. I know you mentioned Man City runaway leaders and all. There are a lot of twists remaining in this particular Premier League. This is not like a season that you've ever seen before. So, exciting, yes. I mean, of course, I didn't stay up and watch the game. I would rather watch a Netflix movie than a Man United versus Everton game. But, but it's okay. None of them won, so I think yay. But not. I mean, I don't think it's that big a loss to United, or that big a victory for Everton either.
The Jim Beglin inside if he is proud right now. So, moving over to Prashant. Prashant, welcome to Netflix Football and Liverpool, Man City, biggest as they come. So I remember a fond memory of mine, like 2 seasons back, when actually Liverpool thumped Man City and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain smashed in that goal. I was off my seat, waking up my grandmother, and like, wow, what a goal!
Yep,
Do you feel that
yep.
Liverpool need a statement win over tonight to actually stamp their authority and break and get back into the title race?
I mean, if I'm being realistic, at the moment, it's less to do with making a statement and more to do with bringing our season back on track. If you look at, our recent form, I think one has to be very, very, very over optimistic to say that, we are going to thump Man City. Especially when you look at the fact that this time around we'll be having a couple of new centre backs who we have actually never seen play, for Liverpool. And in any case, it's a massive step up from them. So again, and just adding fuel to the fire was the comments made by Klopp in midweek, which seemed to have infuriated Pep as well. So I think Pep is, baying for blood, especially when it comes to this match, and I expect nothing but a very, very fiery affair.
Because I know Klopp has been on and on and on about his press conferences, his mind games. But honestly, going back to Nidhi on this, like, do you appreciate what Klopp? Because we have never heard this rant side of Klopp. Suddenly, he's under pressure, is coming out with beautiful football, anti-football, things like that. And do you think Nidhi, these are a part of his mind games, or do you think this is actually Klopp actually starting to feel the heat right now?
No, I don't think Klopp's feeling the heat. This is classic deflection. Look, Liverpool have not been playing well because of, and you would expect that. We're missing all three centre backs. Our midfielders are playing in defense, and as a result, the overall play. We can go into technical details about it, but every Liverpool fan at least realizes that this is the team is not at its best. I mean, it's a mixture of injuries and form. What Klopp is doing, according to me, is deflection. He's deflecting, because otherwise we've just lost two back-to-back homes at Anfield. Has never happened, right? I mean, losing at Anfield itself hadn't happened since the last 3 years. So this is deflection, according to me. I don't think Klopp's losing his mind. This is just him taking the attention away from the team and bringing it upon himself.
Quite a fair point, because we have all seen how big name managers before big games actually deflect the pressure onto them and away from them retrospectively in any circumstance. So the
Mourinho
Prashant,
is a master of that. Mourinho is a master of that, by the way.
as well as bottling things. No, this, when you go to Spurs, you expect a bottle job, regardless of the manager. So, okay, Prashant, the banter aside, Let's talk about players right now. So Mo Salah, despite people claiming that Liverpool's front three aren't clicking, is still the top scorer in the Premier League with a hefty amount of goals. And contrastingly, he is paired up in the sense of informed players with Gundogan, the least you'd expect, popping up with goals and assists. He has had very good returns, and people who has had him in their FPL as a differential has had lots of good luck. So I know it's a mismatch upon the play style, but impact wise, how do you think this is going to match up in tonight's classic six pointer?
Okay, so I'll first start with Salah, and I think as you rightly said, that he's faced a lot of criticism, and yet he continues to be, our biggest hope of getting a goal. And this season, I think, especially what I've noted is that while his dribbling ability and ability to retain the ball has gone down a little bit, his finishing has actually improved a lot. And I mean, if you look at the XP stats from this season, you see that they are way better than what it used to be in the last season or the season before that. So, as far as Liverpool is concerned, I think he'll be our biggest threat for sure. And I think the attention of him should reduce a little bit, given we will also have some other threats on the pitch today in the shape of Mane, and hopefully one of our, central midfielder also coming back to his original position from defense to midfield. And talking about Gundogan, I think he just shows, right, how deep a bench strength City actually has to replace someone like KDB almost seamlessly, right? And not just in terms of being the hub and creator of all the attacks, but also in terms of notching those crucial goals and assists. I think it just goes to show how good a squad City actually has. And I mean, in last couple of games, to be honest, it was Gundogan who was getting all the goals. But at the same time, I think it could have been anyone because all of them had decent amount of chances. You talk about Bernardo Silva, Sterling, even Foden for that matter. All of them are threats in their own regard. So I don't think it's going to be just Salah versus Gundogan. I think we'll have a lot of other players as well to take care of. And I hope we have Fabinho back in midfield today to tackle with that threat.
Very good point that you have brought out, that even though Kevin De Bruyne has been sidelined through injury, Man City doesn't have to seem to have lost a gear. Accepted their bench strength is totally out of the world. Like you have Riyad Mahrez, you have Bernardo Silva, you have Phil Foden who rotate for one spot at times. But Nidhi, coming to you, did you actually expect, number one, did you actually expect Gundogan to be this prolific since the start of, because he's been in and out of the squad basically because David Silva has left and Gundogan getting his fair share of chances. City playing with an inverted pyramid at times. We'll get to that tactical session later on the show. But Nidhi, do you think Gundogan, of all people, of all the goal scorers, Gundogan getting his fair share of goals, do you think that this has been an appropriate tenure of his talents? Because we have seen him gliding into the box as a late runner like the Ozils of previous years, and suddenly he's their main goal getter this season. Nidhi, do you think this is actually legit what is happening with Man City right now?
Look, Gundogan has always been, a very good player. He was a Klopp signing, right, at Dortmund, right? So, Gundogan has always been a very, very good player. I think the problem with Gundogan, what happened all these years, was A, his injuries, and B, the kind of, squad that City has. So, for example, it's very difficult for someone to, displace players like Kevin De Bruyne and David Silva, right? Now what has happened this season is that, of course, David Silva is gone and De Bruyne is injured, and as a result, he's playing. um I think it has also to do with, City's fullbacks, starting to play much better than what they were, because of which, the space is created, and that is exactly where we are suffering as well. When Van Dijk used to play and Fabinho was in midfield, you know, if you look at the center of the park, right, that used to provide the stability. And Van Dijk would play those long balls either to Salah, and he would make the off the ball runs, What has and Firmino used to be ready for the second balls or interception, those kind of things. What has happened we have with with Liverpool is that because Van Dijk is missing, Fabinho is missing in midfield, those overlaps are not happening,
Right.
and that is what is working in City's favor. Cancelo is playing really well, so he makes those runs. He overlaps with with on the wing, and because of that, the that particular part of the pitch being busy, Gundogan gets to make those late runs like you're saying, and they have been benefiting. So, but you have to give him credit. I think he has been a a very good player for City this season, and you have to give him credit. And like I said, he always had it in him.
To be fair, even though, as you very well mentioned, he was a Klopp signing at Dortmund and he played magnanimously over there. But
Yeah,
let's talk about another Klopp signing. So here is the guy in the picture, as you can see. So very opposite poles, like Thiago playing for Klopp and Gundogan playing for Pep Guardiola. Role
yeah.
reversal right now, both having the best of two of the best managers in the recent era.
Yeah.
Prashant, I'll ask you this. Why has Thiago, I'll get your opinion on this, then I'll come to Nidhi with another question, is that why has Thiago found it very difficult to hit that ground running in this fantastic Liverpool lineup?
I'll give you three reasons, I think, and I'll give them to you, I think, in the order of importance, at least in my opinion. So I think the very first reason is that if you look at the kind of impact he created at Bayern Munich, right? Look at the guy he was feeding. He was feeding Lewandowski, and you know that Lewandowski will make the run as long as you play the right ball. He will be there at the end of it, right?
Right.
Here, if we talk about the only one who shows those kind of instincts are Salah, and he plays wide. And Firmino is not a Lewandowski type of a number nine. So for him, making those kind of similar plays that he used to at Bayern is not really an option at Liverpool. Second reason I think why he's had a slow start is that we have been playing a really high line defense line. Now, what that does is when you basically go so far up the pitch, you are basically pushing your opponents back in their half, which means that you now have a limited amount of space in which you have 10 players of the opposition crowding you out, right? Which basically narrows the space that you have to play those intricate through balls and all that. So I think in a way our highline approach has kind of limited the kind of impact he could have had if we were playing, maybe a counter-attacking style of football, so to say, right? Where he just gets the ball, he sees some place behind the last defender where he can, play that ball. Now the last defender is so deep down that he has no place to basically give that ball in. And the third reason I think is a human reason, which is which is that he hasn't really had enough time to play with the kind of players he would ideally play in a Liverpool lineup. He is basically right now divided in between his defensive duties and the requirement to do the creative side of things, right? So you
Right.
can already see that he's not really a good tackler. Now, if you put Fabinho beside him to do that
Right.
for him, and he just has, the playmaking to do, then you'll see a different Thiago, in my opinion.
Absolutely. So I'll put Nidhi on hold for a moment. Let's welcome my mate Neil, who's on cloud nine since Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored that 90th minute equalizer. I know his grin is dangerous right now. So Neil, asking you this, that we were talking about Thiago and Gundogan, who had actually played for the reverse managers in the Bundesliga, and Prashant was actually talking about how and why Thiago is not being played well, because he was playing with a Lewandowski, and now right now Firmino is not a complete out and out number nine, as well as with the fact that Kimmich was beside him, who's arguably one of the best defensive midfielders in the world right now. Now Fabinho, the architect of destruction at Liverpool, is now playing at defense where he's not accustomed to. He can do a job over there. But do you think, on the same question, Thiago, what we talked about previously, that with the defense coming back in, Van Dijk coming back in, Joe Gomez coming back in, or even Ozan Kabak starting with Van Dijk, do you think we'll see the best of Thiago then?
Firstly, well, congratulations on your 500 subscribers, by the way. And um, it's not only that that Thiago and Gundogan are playing for different managers and the tables have turned for them, but at the same point of time, the role of their own role in the playing 11 has changed. We haven't seen Gundogan playing such in such forward line and making so much impact in numbers of goals and assists that in the past few weeks he's done. I mean, it made me take him into my FPL actually, and he's pretty cheap, by the way. FPL fact, he's just 5.8 over there, and it's very cheap, and I just got him for that. So the roles have changed over there as well. So Gundogan is playing much towards like a attacking midfielder. At the same point of time, we are seeing Thiago playing as a deep line playmaker or maybe a defensive midfielder. Absolutely, we would love to see Fabinho getting back to the defense as a DM there, and supporting Thiago and making him move forward with a strong back line or a back defense line over there. But not necessarily is that going to happen very soon. We Liverpool fans know that's not happening. That's not happening anytime soon. I mean, Ozan Kabak is there, yeah, that's all right, but we don't see either Matip is out for the season, so we don't see Gomez or Van Dijk coming in anytime soon. So that's a concern for us because. As a football fan, you don't want to see Thiago doing defensive duties for 90 minutes. I mean, he's with the ball at his feet, he can create magic, and we all know that. So it's such a waste of time and waste of talent over there that we don't have any options left with us either, that we have to play him there. But I would love to see, maybe next season or maybe later part of this season that, with the stable-ish backline and Thiago playing up front, maybe in the attacking midfield part. Yes.
Thiago, even though he played as a deep line playmaker in the later part of his Bayern days, we all know he's a creative outlet, as you very well mentioned. So talking to Nidhi on this, Nidhi, imagine, let's not imagine, but consider the fact that Van Dijk is there. You're playing that high line that you spoke of, and what puzzles me is that not actually puzzles me. What astonishes me is former Liverpool. If you talk about tactics, I know you love to, the way they create overloads and overlaps at the same time allows the deep lying playmaker in the team to be in that hole or pocket of space and create an separate overload there where the deep lying playmaker and Firmino actually stand in front of the defense and play those through balls. We have seen Jordan Henderson do that, getting his fair share of assists. Thiago is a great option at that point with his dribbling skills and his precision through balls and shooting from outside the box. So with Van Dijk coming in, do you see Thiago and Firmino? And that's why Firmino and the deep line playmaker actually played well last season. With Van Dijk coming in probably in the later half of this season or even next season, to be fair, do you see Liverpool ruling Europe? Because in my mind, that's a fabulous, dangerous thing. Do you see Liverpool? Like, I understand you have that Klopp grin on your face right now. So Liverpool going boom next season again?
Look, I don't know about ruling Europe because that's a function of other teams as well. I think Bayern have been fantastic. Atletico have been playing really well. So you want to watch out for Atletico as well in this Champions League and the next Champions Leagues as well. So I don't know about ruling Europe, but I'll tell you what. See, I'll tell you how Liverpool work. For example, if you look at the defense, so this one is Van Dijk, for example. What happens is when Van Dijk is in the team, the whole team pushes forward and we play a high line like this. Now these two are your fullbacks, which is where they'll go forward. Fabinho comes behind, and you are able to create that particular width where Van Dijk, Fabinho, and the other centre back, Matip or whoever, they provide you the width. They provide you the width in the center, while these two fullbacks along with Salah and Mane provide you the width in attack. Right now, what has happened is Thiago was actually bought to play with Fabinho. What would have happened ideally is this: if this is Thiago and this is Fabinho, Fabinho plays here, Thiago moves forward, and Fabinho is still there to provide that stability. And by the way, you already have these two fullbacks and wingers, Salah and Mane, going for near the opposition box. That's when you have one moment of space or one chance to create an opportunity, which is where Fabinho is here, Thiago is here, and in a slightly more advanced role, and he can play that killer pass or just play a through ball, a ball above the defenders, and there is Salah, Mane, Firmino to finish it off. Right now, what is happening is we are not seeing that because of these issues, of course.
And Liverpool have been very unlucky with injuries. To be very fair on them, like Diego Jota first, Van
Yep.
Dijk, Matip and stuff. Like
Neil, just
I
give me
feel
1 minute. Yeah,
sure,
please go on.
sure, no problem. Okay, I'll move on to Prashant. Let's start with the tactical analysis of things right now. I know Neil is excited with the tactical part. So Prashant, let me fetch you a slide right now. So this is from the earlier match this season, Liverpool versus Man City. So
Mhm.
as you can see, Liverpool very often, Neil is again grinning because we talk about this formation changes very often, and Liverpool play a very flat track 4-4-2 in their defensive transition, right? When they lose the ball and when in their pressing, they often go man for man. Very rarely I have seen them being zonal until unless necessary. But this way, the Gejen pressing, what they have done until towards the end of last season, and maybe I'll ask you this: have teams actually figured Liverpool out, number one, or this system heavy, or does this system heavily rely on a Van Dijk?
So I don't think a system is slave to any single player, at any point of time. So I think to better understand this, let's just look at a bigger sample size, right? So
Wait,
we talk
is
about
Nidhi trying
50.
to say something? Nidhi was trying to say something probably. You have gone on mute. We cannot hear you, Nidhi. Still on mute.
He's asking to wait, I suppose.
Now I think his headphone got plugged off or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not on mute.
Okay, he's vanished. Okay, Prashant, go on.
Yeah, so I was saying, I mean, if we look at a bigger sample size, right, and we go back to the very, very early fixtures between City and Liverpool, when Pep and Klopp are obviously the managers, we'll see that obviously Klopp had the same approach of gegenpress and whatnot, right? But Pep was kind of playing to his strength as well, right? He was the one taking the initiative and kind of playing it into Klopp's hands. And what we could do was with our fast transitions, one tackle in the midfield from Henderson or Milner, and we have the ball very high up when their fullbacks are advancing, their centre backs are bit up the pitch, and that was helping us with all the counters and whatnot. But if you see in the last couple of seasons, I think, and especially since that win that we had against them in the Champions League, Pep seems to have understood that this is probably not a beast he can take down with force, right? He'll have to basically come up with some strategy. And you go back to last season and you'll see that Pep played a very, very pragmatic approach for the very first time. And I think it was one of those boring fixtures which yielded a nil-nil kind of a score line. So if you put that into perspective, and even the first fixture this time around, you'll notice that the games are not really that fast paced and exciting between these two teams anymore. And the reason is because both of these teams are affording a lot of respect to each other. So as far as I think tactics go, in this one, I actually see that Pep will see a weakness and he will go for the kill. So I think Pep will be flooding numbers up the pitch this time around. And I see us adopting more of a counter-attacking approach, something similar to what Mourinho did against City initially in the season when they actually managed to sneak through rather uh, surprising win against Pep's men. So I think this is the approach we'll be taking. Sit back, absorb the pressure early on a little bit, and then try to hit them on the counter with Salah
Right.
and Mane.
Right. Now, moving over to Neil, I know you're pepped up to talk about this because this is all we talk about at times. You were the first one to highlight that Klopp isn't the one who actually plays with a 4-3-3, and he actually transitions into a diamond more often than not, that goes behind the eyes of a normal of an average watcher. If you see the runs, if you see the spaces that the other players are actually taking up, rather than the ones who are actually in possession or in the vicinity of the play area, if you can see this right now, this is the position, almost a man mark for everyone. The ball is with Kyle Walker and he's playing a line breaking pass into the attack right now. So Neil, I'll ask you this: having moved into a traditional 4-3-3, a 4-4-2, a wide 4-4-2, probably a diamond or a flat in alternating in between, do you see at this moment of time would that work against a Man City who is, by the way, the sole followers of inverting the pyramid? Bielsa fans everywhere.
Okay, so am I audible now?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, sure. Thank you. So what we have seen in the last 2.5 years, actually, that Klopp's tactics regarding Liverpool were pretty, monotonous. Our wing backs would be attacking. The main source of our attack was coming from our wing backs, and there was nothing, no sort of attacking movement from the middle of the park. Once we lost Coutinho, there was no such replacement for Coutinho that we got. And coming into the bigger picture, I think that was Klopp's actual plan when he signed Thiago. We have the attacking strength from the wings as well, and from the middle, maybe the likes of Wijnaldum or maybe Hendo can play from box to box, and at the same point of time, you have Fabinho as a defensive midfielder, while Thiago can play at number 10. We have been seeing vehemently that if that would have worked, or in the previous seasons as well, what Hendo was doing was that Trent was moving up and he was covering up the spot of Trent. He was moving down and putting himself at the right back position. So we basically had a back three over there, which we clearly can't afford right now. And that's why we have seen that Trent's the license to move forward and throw in those crosses and passes and those beautiful lovely balls, those are clearly missing, and we can't blame Trent for that. I mean, everyone is blaming Trent that he's not up to the mark. He's not playing to that level that he has been in the last few seasons. But clearly, he's not given that license. Look at Robertson on the other hand side; he's just moving like blasting through players. But Trent is not given that license. At the same point of time, when you're talking about 4-4-2 specifically, we have no other options. Trust me, because the entire game would be revolving on the basis of just midfield versus midfield. They have a good
Sorry, Neil, to
defense
cut
line,
you off
yes.
right now because
Yes,
the
yes, yes,
lineups
yes.
are out.
Lineups are out. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll just read through the lineups for everyone to see over here. So Liverpool start with Alisson, Trent, Fabinho, Henderson, Robertson, still no defender. Thiago, Wijnaldum, Curtis Jones, who's an exciting selection for me. Salah, Firmino, and Mane, the healthy trio of attack. Man City going with Ederson, Joao Cancelo, John Stones, Ruben Diaz, an excellent partnership. Oli Zinchenko coming in at left back. Bernardo Silva, Rodri, and the ever-present Gundogan. Riyad Mahrez, Raheem Sterling again in that false nine, and Phil Foden. Uh, Neil, I'll come back to you on the tactical thing. Neil has already lost it. Nidhi, if you are there with us, I think Nidhi, where is Nidhi? Okay,
Yeah,
Nidhi,
I'm
if you
here.
are there with us, what do you think of the lineup?
Well, first of all, apologies to your viewers. My wife is not at home, so my daughter just made an appearance in your show. Um,
I'm lucky. I'm so lucky.
right. But speaking of the lineups, Look, I thought as much. I almost was sure that he will not start the new centre backs for this particular game. We have no easy games, moving forward. We play Leicester, we play Everton, we play the Champions League tie in between. This is the most difficult of the lot, right? And you don't want, and both these players, not just at Liverpool, forget experience of playing at Liverpool, they have never played in the Premier League, right? So this is, I thought that Klopp would go with Fabinho and Henderson in the centre back position. Um, so this is not a big surprise for me. The only surprise I would say is that for City, that Zinchenko starts at left back. Um, I to be fair, I have not followed City so much throughout the season. But this is sort of this was sort of expected, the lineup that we will go forward with. I think what Klopp will try to do is try to play through the middle and sort of frustrate City in the beginning, and then hope to get a goal going or something like that, because we do have the quality to score goals.
Absolutely. So moving over to Prashant right now. So what startles you with the City formation? Because Raheem Sterling, Phil Foden, and Riyad Mahrez, we saw the same attacking trio versus Man United, and they dovetail really well, switching and right now. So, uh, Prashant, do you think that this and as well Alexander Zinchenko coming in for Joao Cancelo, who's moved over to the right? Do you think City have City gambled with too much of attacking impetus in this match and taken Liverpool a tad bit lighter than they should?
I told you Pep is going to go for the throat, and you can very well see that in the lineup. And I think, I mean, I don't know what Klopp saw in the training ground from the two centre backs. Clearly, it was something which didn't give him too much confidence. So, yeah, I mean, what can I say? I mean, this is something which I kind of expected, but was hoping it doesn't happen. As you see, I mean, City's front three, fluid as ever, fast, dribblers, quick feet, the kind of forwards who will get you a goal and will also get you a lot of penalties, right? So maybe I think that was one of the thought which Klopp had in his mind, that you don't want a young guy or at least a new guy going in with a rush of blood, and with Sterling's pace and trickery, it just takes a small nudge, right, to get him off his feet and lying on the floor. So I think that is something which Klopp might have thought of and tried to prevent. But again, I mean, when you look at the two lineups, one is set to contain and the other one is set to attack. So I think, again, as they say in any big game, the first goal is going to be really, really crucial. And I think in this one, one very, very positive thing, and one that I was desperately praying for, was Curtis Jones coming in for Milner, because Milner, for me, has, for all his heart and dedication to Liverpool's cause, I think he doesn't really, give us the kind of dynamism we are looking for from the midfield. And Curtis, on the other hand, he does that. So I think it's a good strategy to have Curtis up front and have Thiago and Curtis play a little forward, have Genie sweep behind them, and hope that Mane and Salah can keep their personal differences and competition aside for a bit, and pay for the team, give that magical pass like Chuck Day at the end. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
Okay, going on to Neil right now, and I'm hearing the morbidity from Prashant's voice. I know that it's a difficult thing to actually understand with Klopp and Pep. But what excites me about this match is whenever Pep has tried to be too much clever, it has come back and bit him in the ass big time. So going over to Neil on this, like, let's take the question from Veda. Veda, thanks for joining in the channel. Hope you have liked the content, and I hope you can subscribe to us and keep this journey going, and as that goes with everyone else. So with Kabak in the squad, is it fair to guess that we would go all defensive once we take a proper lead? Neil, have you say?
Um, if we get a 2-goal lead at any point of the game, I think you can all hallucinations. But anyway, if we get a 2-goal lead at any point of the game, I think we can just call Curtis off and put Kabak in, going defensive. At the same point of time, we have the likes of Hendo, Wijnaldum, and Thiago in the midfield. So that's pretty decent midfield if you are to ask me. And on the counter-attacking transitions also, it might help, but comes with the condition that once only if we are on 2-goal lead, because
Yeah, which sounds
if
like
you
wishful thinking to me.
Sounds like wishful thinking to
yeah,
me.
absolutely, it is wishful thinking, because with a defense like that, I mean, no disrespect to Hendo and Fabinho, they are very good players, and they have been keeping clean sheets as well for quite a while those two are playing. Those are very rare to our sight for this year at least. And but I don't think, when I mean, these are the likes of, I'm stammering for holy shit. I mean, it's Sterling, it's Phil Foden. They could break an ankle of Hendo or Fabinho, for Christ's sake. I mean, just one dance move from any film of Bollywood film, just one dance move this and one breaks an ankle. They can easily do that, but it's just we need to hit on the counters, I guess. But I don't understand that. Not a single defense, not a single defense. I mean, backline in the backline, not a single center back. I mean, you could have gone with the Rhys William, or with Rhys William or someone, anyone. I mean, okay,
Not Reed,
we
not
understand.
Reed, please.
I mean, yes, it's all
Actually,
right that Ozan Kabak hasn't played in the topmost league. He's been playing in Schalke, but but we could have given him a chance. If not in at this match, then when? And we have always had a reputation of you know hammering City, so we could have gone with that confidence. But uh, I am praying all the gods possible in all mythologies right now.
That was amazing. Probably Jim Beglin is right now with us. Like, I hate that guy so much, and he is assigned to every Man United match in the commentary, and I have to bear his Scouser attitude. I know like, I hope he is feeling the same right now. And but at the same point of time, Liverpool would do United a great favor by winning, and themselves a great favor by winning against Man City. So we'll not stretch this a bit much further. We'll take the predictions. I know Nidhi is very skeptical. He doesn't want to make score predictions, but so I'll ask him, having seen the lineups, how do you think that the game is gonna go?
Eh, um, it's it's going to be a very close game. One way, whichever whoever wins, draw, whatever happens, it's going to be a very close game.
Just that? No tactical innuendo of that sort.
No, no,
Everybody is just disappointed on the lineup.
look, like I said, I think Klopp will try to play through the middle. Pep initially, and look at the City lineup. Looking at the City lineup, and this also has been discussed. City will go for the jugular right from the start, and initially we'll have to just absorb the pressure. There is no way we can start it like how we have started against at Anfield in the recent few years. We cannot do that in this particular game. We have to absorb the pressure a little bit, and perhaps show our cards in the second half, when City will be tiring a little bit, maybe, although I don't see that happening either. But whatever happens, I think this will be a pretty close game.
Prashant, do you agree with that? Close game?
Yeah, I mean, if you talk about the eventual score, I would agree. But I think if we talk about balance of play, I think we will see a great degree of control and possession from City in this one. But yeah, I think if when it comes to score, my I think unbiased prediction would be 2-1 in favor of City, and I think my biased opinion would be 1-1.
The level of jinx is at a premium in this show.
No,
So moving over to yeah, go on.
No, no, no. I'm saying this is as practical as I could be. I don't really see us beating them, but
Now moving
never
over
say
to
never.
Neil. Moving over to Neil. The reason why I showed this slide a bit is for Neil to study number one, because the next question is coming from here. It's because whenever Liverpool has tried playing through the middle, this is what City do. Play an inverted pyramid or an inverted W or WM formation or like that, and put 3, 1, and 2 in between. That outpowers the midfield, and that forces your Liverpool players to go out wide, and without the natural width coming in because of the lack of a proper, as Nidhi pointed out, lack of a proper center half. You cannot Liverpool cannot take that risk. They cannot close down if a ball is just, a lucky ball passes through and it's chaos all over the back. We saw that with Man United, Shaw making the overlaps, Bruno getting the space, and Alisson saving you guys' asses, and even the shot with Pogba, they are not closed down. And the way that City do is 100 times better than what United have recently started doing. Neil, are you bothered right now with the prediction scoreline? Do you think it's going to be a close game, or number one, City are going for blood? That 4-0 scoreline still haunts Pep, or Pep has outsmarted himself once again, as we have seen a lot of times?
See, I'm very disappointed with the backline, of course. I mean, I was expecting that, but as Prashant said, I mean, we all Liverpool fans expected that, but we didn't want it to happen, to be very honest. And if I won't say 0-0, but if at halftime, if we are leading, we are leading up to a scoreline of 1-1, I think Liverpool should go all in at that point. We shouldn't think twice, because we are not at this position to go for the title at this point. So why not go at the probably the champions of this year? So if at halftime it's 1-1, I think Liverpool should just go all in. And regarding our midfield, I see quite good football to be played among those three midfielders that we are having for this match. Pretty decent midfield as well. I am expecting to see Curtis Jones to shine, because he didn't play last 5 to 6 Premier League games, and I do expect him to do well, because Neil, I do see very highs of Curtis Jones, and I expect very much out of him. But at the same point of time, when what the picture that you were talking about, when we try to play from the middle, and City moves in with an inverted V or inverted W or whatever you may call it, um, I keep shouting. I look at my television, and I keep shouting that go for the legs, cancel out the second man and the third man, and or whomever the ball may go to. Don't even think about it. That this is the Pep Guardiola side. You don't go for a second man or third man. He always has second man, third man, fourth man present to give a ball. But go for the legs. Go for who. I mean, not even man marking off the ball or anything. Just stick with your man. Stick there, because whenever you see a Pep Guardiola team playing, a single person can pass the ball to almost 4 to 5 players at the same point of time. The passages are so clear and so sorted out. It's beautiful to see and beautiful to look at. So we don't have any other options. Just move with the players. You don't just stick with the player. If we give them half a chance, they will create a goal out of it. They will simply create a goal out of it. And with a backline like that, if it's not commanding very much, Alisson won't be comfortable as well. We have seen this a few times, as in the past few weeks or months, that Alisson is not so much comfortable if the backline themselves are not so much commanding, and if Robbo doesn't come back and yell at Greenwood's ears, so it doesn't happen. So anyway, I really want to see that. We all know that Pep probably is coming for our neck and heads right now. It's like a huntsman coming for some meat. But I think we shouldn't be defensive. We properly don't have anything to lose, do we? We don't. We can concentrate on other matches, other games, other competitions as well. But I don't think we have anything to lose. So why can't we go all in and just move in along with City? If they can attack, so can we.
I
You
have
have
a, I have
Sterling.
a, I have a very good answer, but let it be.
Yeah, same here. I think I'll keep shut as well. Don't want to be.
No jinxing. It would have been better if we did a post-match podcast, but I don't know the health, the mental health that would have been after. So Rahul says, Anil, where is the city representation? Are you covering up for them tonight? Rahul, I've only got one thing to tell you, that they can't even fill a stadium, let alone fill the podcast. So that's your answer.
See,
And it's
this is why. See, this is why City is running away with the league. No, no fans in the stadium. Every game is a home game for them. No, so
Three cheers, three cheers. Rahul, you have the best comment and Nidhi has the best answer of this podcast. So I'll leave you guys to it with your morbidity and all your hopes. And let's hope that
yeah.
it's today it's even me going YNWA right now. And it's more important for us and more important for you guys as well. I don't see United being a title contender. 3-1.
You are a title contender.
It's difficult without the players that we have.
You are a title contender. Whichever way you put it, you are a title contender, and I don't mean it in a jinxing or a funny way. You've done very well, so why not accept where you are? So you've done well, so you are a title contender.
All the United fans will disagree with Liverpool fans on United being a title contender, and that's the sole brain fart of this statement. So, okay, thanks guys for tuning in, right, and on such short notice. Thanks Neil, thanks Prashant, thanks Nidhi. Always pleasure to host you all.
Yeah.
And let's hope for a good game. Let's hope Liverpool actually scored 4 past City so that their goal difference comes down number 1 and. They need to be stopped right now.
You are just saying that Liverpool will score past City 4 times tonight. Do you even watch football? Are you even watching football for the past few weeks? Get lost. What are you talking about? We scoring 4 goals tonight. I was saying 3-1 that Man City will win, not us. We scoring 4 goals tonight. What have you been doing in the last 4 to 5 weeks? Hibernating or something? What's wrong with you?
Oh my God. Thanks, Surajit, for joining in for the first time in my life, supporting Liverpool tonight. Do us a favor, right? That's the word of tonight. Favor us, Scousers. Save us, Scousers. So we'll keep this show at a premium. Thanks again for joining in.
Yeah.
Let's connect very, very soon. So thank you, Nidhi. Thank you,
Cheers.
Prashant. Cheers. Have a good game.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye. So that was pretty much about the stream, and let's hope for a cracker of a classic 6-pointer match. This is your host Neil for Netflix Football, and I hope to bring you more good news along the way. By the way, thanks for 500 subscribers. That was pretty quick, and I'm counting on you guys to get me to 1,000 in double quick time. So that's all about it. Let's hope for a cracker of a match. 10 p.m. Do not forget to tune in and let's have a good game. So bye-bye for now and keep tuning into Netflix Football. There are a lot of good things coming. Bye-bye for now.